give ourselves something to think about as we make our way into new territories, right? This week we got definitely new territories, getting into our tools. We're going to be getting into our first cuts as well. Prior to that, of course, we're going to get into just understanding how to manipulate and hold the hair. You know what I'm saying? How to get your dexterity together. You know what I mean? A lot of you guys have never, dealt with this fabric before, right? So we got a few exercises that we're going to do prior to cutting, just to kind of get ourselves familiar with how we can get the hair to do what we want it to do. We've covered how water and heat, how that's a way to manipulate. Then we're going to get into what the term elevation or projection angle or degrees of elevation. We're going to start getting into that. I talked about that last week. These are words that you'll start to hear. Parting and sectioning, and understanding how that works on different parts of the head. Getting really familiar with the sections of the head, right? We talked about that a while ago. I kind of showed you guys, top, back, sides, crown, right? So we'll get into that more. But yeah, that's what this week will look like. You'll have sort of a initiation, prior to cutting, a little exercise that we like to do. Again, just to get your fingers to working. So I look forward to that. I ain't gonna tell you what it is just yet. If you dug into the history of CBI, maybe looked at some pictures and stuff, you might be able to figure out what that might be. Some things we've definitely done away with, but there's one that we stick with. There's a lot to learn within that little exercise. So we'll go through that. But yeah, on this Wisdom's Men Significance, man, we got one for the week. We got multiple in here though. So I guess I'm gonna just choose one.
Chapter 5. Go there, please.
Chapter 5.
Go to chapter 5.
Okay.
Understand you have everything. They don't have everything that you see.
All right.
Thank you.
So, this Wisdom and Significance, man, is the professional swag. Everybody's sense of professionalism is different. How you carry yourself as a professional, depending on what environment you're in, may be different. As a professional barber, and also barber student, there's some things that I feel like we need to encompass, right, to present ourselves as professionals. So that's what this talks about. And, I definitely encourage everybody to be themselves, right, and tap into, the best parts of who you are and who you are becoming, who you desire to be, and have some swag, to go along with it. Basically just saying like, you don't have to be cookie cutter. You don't have to be Mr. Button Up. If you choose to, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But never feel like you have to fit into a particular aesthetic necessarily, right? But just so long as you do things in a manner that is an example of professionalism, right? So we're going to talk about that, what that looks like. We talked a little bit last week when we were going over shampooing and conditioning, certain things that we need to be aware of how we dress, to avoid a bad service, right? Baggy clothes and jewelry and rings and things of that nature, and how you dress. All that makes a difference. But there's a lot of other things that come into play as well. We talked a little bit about, hygiene. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't, but that's a huge one as well, right? We want to make sure that we smelling good. We don't have deodorant balls dropping out from underneath our our jersey. If if you decide to put a jersey on, you guys were just talking about, you ain't got your braces done. You know what I'm saying? So oral hygiene is huge as well. Making sure that you're taking care of brushing and flossing and tongue scraping and all the different things that go into keeping your mouth right. Not overdoing it like with smell good. Sometimes people go crazy with cologne. and you just got to be careful with that as well. Shoot, man. Uh, but yeah, all the things that go, into hygiene, man, are definitely a part of your swag too. But yeah, let's get into the material, man, real quick. I'm sure. So you were working in the schools, right? Yeah. Okay. What do you notice about like your coworkers and stuff like that when it comes to, how they show up for work and things like that?
So I noticed that kind of same thing as in this environment, like no baggy clothes, and there's a lot of collars, a lot of like button ups,
Mm-hmm.
boots,
Mm-hmm.
not any like graphic tees, none
Right.
of that. It was
Mm-hmm.
just straight like colors.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Hoodies weren't really
The thing not for the teachers and stuff,
yeah,
right? Or for the staff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
hoodies weren't really a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else? I think that's all really.
Okay. Yeah. Basic, like, it's not going out to dinner attire per se, you know what I'm saying? But it's not lounging at the crib, attire either, right? It's something that you can, respectable dress code. You're not looking like if some in that situation, I imagine you're not looking like the kids, right? You're not dressing how the kids are dressing. I get it. How about you? You was in the in the automotive and driving too.
Yeah,
and so
different
completely different, right? Yeah.
Didn't care.
Yeah.
They looked like kids rolled out of bed halftime.
Well, because they didn't know they was going to be in a
Dirty environment.
yeah, so it didn't really make a difference.
So automotive, when I was, doing the office work stuff, and that was a big deal.
Mm.
Present yourself the way you look.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't have these back then. I couldn't.
Got the gauges in there. Yeah.
Couldn't do
What do you look forward to, like transitioning into this field, in regards to that? Like,
well, I mean, I like feeling. I mean, just like anybody, like I don't like the construction, like smell, like like I like to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just I want to be me, and hopefully people, I'll draw a certain type of clientele being like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
That's what I'm hoping for.
It's a freedom, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Now you actually can express yourself in a way that you may not have been able to do so in your work environment. I talked about who was that? Ryan, my guy Mosh Pit is what I call him, because he actually used to do the Mosh Pit, and I remember him mentioning something like that, and I think Christian also, which is another alumni or super dope dude, out of Cali, came all the way up here. He moved to Portland to come to school here, man. He seen us from California, like, man, I want to go to that school, and made it happen. And anyway, the jobs that he had been doing, it didn't give him that freedom to actually get dressed or put on clothes the way that they wanted to, get dressed every day. They had to dress for work, and they work in 12, 14-hour shifts and stuff like that. And barbering can be that swag type freedom. Now I can actually be me, because that's not who I desire. That's not me, really, So there is a level of freedom in it too. How about you with your job?
T-shirt, Carhartts, boots,
Mm-hmm.
dirty and gritty and sweaty, and just a bunch of dirtbags.
Yeah. Working hard. And Chase, what was you doing before school?
I've done quite a few things.
Okay.
All of them were like, you have to wear a uniform. Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
I did security. I did construction. I did working at Planet Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And most gyms are chill, but that one isn't. So like, I have to wear slacks.
Yeah.
And a purple shirt. And
That purple shirt. Yeah, and certain places, of course, we know they have what they consider their uniform, right, or their professional attire, which I actually think uniformity in a workplace is actually kind of cool. Like, it don't have to be everybody got the same thing on, but we got some type of symmetry going on. I think that's actually pretty cool. I don't demand that in my shop, but I actually like it. It's not a bad thing. Like, I've thought about doing, different pieces. So like, just wear something it ain't got to be the same thing, but like you have, multiple pieces that you could choose from. We got sweatshirt. So that my daughter, and this to me, this really goes into professional swag in a way. My daughter, she got a job at the Watchman. I think did I tell you guys that?
A couple times when
Already?
I got back from school,
Yeah. But when she came home, she had the whole swag bag full of stuff, right? She had a nice jacket, sweatshirt, hoodie, t-shirt, polo, beanie, gloves. And I was like, sheesh, they gave you all of that? She was like, yeah. And I actually thought that was cool. So like people that come there or that work there, they may not have on the same thing, but they all kind of got on their uniform though.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Watchman branding on it.
Yeah. And I actually think that that's pretty cool, man. Anyway, so it's different ways to go about it. And again, just the look is one piece. But how you do what you do, and the swag that come along with that, your personality, that's something that can't be matched, I would say. It can't be duplicated. You're the only you there is, right? And how you do what you do, if you do it genuinely, there's no one else that can do it the way that you do it. So, but figuring out what that is and how you're going to do that, I'm not going to say it's like has to take too much thought, right? But it does take some thought. It does take some envisioning, right? What type of professional barber am I going to be? You don't want it to be scripted necessarily, right? You don't want it to come across fake, and you don't want that. But it should be something that you think about and plan for and execute. All right. Okay. So quotes in regards to professional swag: dress shabbily and they remember the dress. Dress impeccably and they remember the woman. This was, I'll say, in Man 2, Coco Chanel. Quote by Coco Chanel. You can have anything you want in life if you dress for it. All right. I'm going to the moon. Oh, he's an astronaut. No, he's not. Yeah, people. Somebody gonna call the people on you. Hey, man, this dude's walking around in a spacesuit, man. Might need to come see about him. All right. Style is a way to say who you are without having to speak. I do agree with that. All right. So definition of professional swag is a combination of personal style, hygiene, and overall presentation that communicates confidence, credibility, and professionalism. It's not just about clothing. It's about the full package, how you look, how you carry yourself, and the energy you bring into a space. That piece, I think, is bigger than anything, is the energy that you bring into a space. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to be a little bit different. But I would say this. It feels good to be the person that when you're not there, people are wondering where you're at. Where Chase at today? You know what I'm saying? Like it feels different when you're not around. How it applies to life. First impressions matter. Whether we walk into a job interview, networking event, or meeting new people, how you present yourself influences how others perceive you. Your attire, your posture, and grooming all contribute to the level of respect and trust you command. Professional swag is about understanding that your outward appearances reflects your mindset and self-respect. I check that one for sure. It's so funny. I can remember being all of about maybe 16, 17. And the least likely, it was weird because it came from a place that I wasn't expecting. I guess I wasn't expecting it anyway, but I was working at Foot Locker at the time when Foot Locker was at Pioneer Square. And I guess I had a stance kind of like this, and my coworker was a young lady. She was older than me though, by a few years. And she was like, you need to push your chest out, And I was like, she was like, the way you stand don't match your personality. And I was like, okay. And so, you know, I didn't know I was standing like this. You know what I'm saying? But she pointed it out. And I promise, ever since that day, I made it a point to like check myself if I was ever like this. Like, hold on, I'm tripping.
I do that sometimes. Like,
Yeah, you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it, right? And it came from a, you know, unlikely, I say unlikely person, but maybe that was the person to notice it and say something and felt like, you know what, you're more than this.
She was helping you out.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah.
Probably like my age, or maybe like 20.
She was I think she was a like a freshman in college or like a senior in high school or no, if I was 16, she was like a freshman in college, I think. Yeah. And I think she played hoop with maybe Portland State or something like that. But yeah, man, it was like, yeah, that doesn't match your person. Because she seen I was talkative, I was selling the mess out of shoes, and she was just like, put your chest out. I was like, all right.
Yeah, we like this.
First, I had to kind of like, who are you? But all right. But those small things make a difference of how you're perceived, though. And I think I might have sold, ain't no telling how many shoes I sold after that. But those
Mm-hmm. Your slouch is like scared.
Closed in, yeah, or scared, yeah. Okay, just thought I'd share that one. All right, how it applies to being a student. Barber student. As a barber student, professional swag means showing up to school with a purpose and discipline. Wearing clean, well-fitted clothes, keeping yourself well-groomed. I see you went and cut your... All right, you trimmed up your... Yeah, everybody got cleaned up. Yeah, you took your... Yeah, everybody got cleaned up. I need to clean up, too. But yeah, that's dope. Well-fitted clothes, keeping yourself well-groomed sets the tone for how seriously you take the craft. When you look sharp, you feel confident. Y'all feel confident today?
Yeah.
Good. I feel confident too. And that confidence translates into how you engage with clients, instructors, and peers. Respect is earned when you carry yourself as a professional, even in training. Good stuff. How it applies to being a professional and an entrepreneur. As a barber, your professional swag is your walking business card. Say that one again. Your professional swag is your walking business card. Clients want to feel like they're in the hands of someone who takes pride in themselves and their work. Looking professional builds trust. It increases the perceived value of your services. The reality is that people prejudge, right? Everybody has a prejudice, right? That's all prejudice means is prejudging, right? And so they'll look around the shop, and kind of gauge who they might want to sit and cheer with, if they'll walk in or what have you. Even if you out handing out cards, and they're going to look at you. I don't know. Do I want to get my hair cut by you? You know what I mean? And that's just how people are, man. How you talk to them. How you talk to them, man. All that stuff matters. So in these days, of course we have social media that gives us, the ability to edit ourselves, you know what I'm saying, into people's viewpoint. But there's still a level of in-person, you know what I mean, that we definitely cannot ignore. And I would say can't do without. When it comes to building our clientele, just building our personal brand in general, being an entrepreneur, like yes, a huge percentage of it nowadays is online, social media, but you cannot forsake that personal interaction with people, especially if that's the ultimate service that you're going to be given anyway, is an in-person service. Yeah, got to be able to live up to that advertisement, should I say, because that's really what social media is. It's an advertisement. And I might have said this before about, when you see advertisement for movies or a theater show or something like that, and you see, oh, this is the best show of the summer, blockbuster. Yeah, man. And then you sit down to watch it, if it ain't, everybody's gonna know it was a dud, Rotten Tomato. So, yeah, man, got to live up to it. All right, and that was what's next. This also extends to social media and branding. Your online presence should reflect your commitment to excellence. Entrepreneurs who master their professional swag position themselves as industry leaders, and attract high quality clientele and business opportunities. Now, this is something that we're going to talk about when we get into strictly business. You have the ability, right, to choose the type of clientele that you desire, right? Like you literally could say, this is the it was not archetype. God dog it. Anyway, this is the type of client that I want, right? They live in this area. They make this type of money. This is what they like to do on their spare time. You know what I mean? You can choose. But at the same time, you have to be in position to service that client that you desire, right? You can't just say, I want clients that, are willing to pay $80 to $100 if you don't show up as that person that provides a service that's worthy of that. You know what I mean? So, but you can choose. You can choose. All right. All right. So sum it up. How to use professional swag to your advantage. Confident booster. When you look good, you feel good, and that energy carries into every interaction. Client management. Clients trust barbers who appear polished, clean, and well put together. That is very true. Networking power. You never know how you'll meet. You never know who you'll meet. Professional swag ensures you're always ready. Very much so. Higher value perception. People are willing to pay more for services from a professional who carries themselves with excellence. And then again, I got my little Martin reference in here. Forgot to delete my my slash. Don't be like bruh man from the fifth floor, rolling up with slippers and a tank top. Look the part, own the part, and get that respect. You guys know who bruh man from the fifth floor is, right?
I've heard of bruh man before.
What's up? None. Just chilling. About to make some sandwiches. Yeah, that's my absolute favorite, man. Martin Lawrence is like, there's so many, not just the Martin show, but like all the movies pretty much I'm a fan of. If you guys have never seen Blue Streak, you should watch that. Oh my goodness. Blue Streak, what's the other? Of course, all the what's the one where Big Mama? Yeah, Big Mama's hilarious. The him and Will Smith is hilarious.
He was in House Party too, wasn't he?
He was Bilal, but he was the DJ. He was the DJ, yeah. He was in Do the Right Thing also.
Really?
Yeah, he had a small little part in Do the Right Thing. I watched Do the Right Thing about 3 times in a row during Black History Month. I did, man. And I said something too. I was like, I don't know why I keep watching this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Why I keep watching this, man? But it was the fact that Spike Lee was like literally like, I won't say 20 years old, 21 years old or something like that, if that, when he made that movie, just blows my mind, and it makes me watch it from now at this age. It makes me watch it differently, that he was able to pull all that together, and make a movie in his, neighborhood. Like, so super dope. It's a classic in my opinion. All right. Any questions on the professional swag?
I would add to that, have a good handshake too.
Yeah.
Don't toss somebody some dead fish and then walk up and introduce themselves to you.
Yeah.
Grab them early by the knuckles or something. Shoot for the pocket, firm grip, eye contact.
I agree.
That goes with the whole posture thing.
Yeah, it's
That's
just a
your
sign
body
of
language.
weakness, and it's a bad way to introduce yourself to somebody. Is to
Yeah.
give them
Yeah.
I think that whole swag thing has to go along with body language. That prejudging somebody.
Yeah.
Because you speak to somebody versus their body language.
Mm-hmm.
Like your presentation, your body language. How I put this. Your swag says what your style is, but your body language says what kind of person you are.
True. I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
would also say like health, because like if you don't get good sleep, you're gonna have puffy eyes. You're gonna be yawning during
Mhm.
the day. So,
Oh, man, those are all good points. Absolutely. How about you, Chase? Anything you want to add?
Is he the fly
Fly us in the room. Fly us in the room. It never hurts. Never hurts, man. But those are all great points. That handshake, on the handshake tip.
Grab somebody up and make it clap,
Yeah.
I want people to
Pause heavy.
people
Heavy.
to
Oh,
bang.
what they say, young overly. But yeah, so the handshake thing, I agree 100%. I do have an issue with people that shake hands to prove a point.
Yeah, me too.
Like I can't, I've had to check a few different clients, in regards to that. Like, bro, don't shake my hand like that hard again, please. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not,
Feels like they're trying to break.
it's because it's not like it's a competition, you know what I'm saying, or something, or they trying to prove a point to me. And I can't stand that. Yeah, and it's like a competition. It's like, bro, we not arm wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I don't like when it's when it's overboard. You know what I'm saying? I think I gotta have a decent handshake, right? And I'm not trying to. It's just, bro. Yep, we both here, right? But when you like squeezing my hand, I gotta say, bro, please don't squeeze my hand like that again. You know what I'm saying? They like, but like, man, yeah, we ain't got to do all that. So I understand 100%. Make it firm. Make it, don't be squeezed doing this. But yeah, I can't stand that, man. When that whole, so you got to get in there, lock it up, huh? Yeah, and then you said the keeping yourself up, good sleep for one, but yeah, your health in general goes a long way. And then also, sometimes what people don't realize, like with alcohol, when people drink, you might go out and drink the night before, and you come in the next day thinking you might have took a shower and everything and brush your teeth and everything's cool, but if you depending on the type of liquor you drink, it come out your pores. You know what I'm saying? You can still smell it. You know what I'm saying? Like if the whiskey, all of them really, but brown liquor for sure. And so like that type of, I don't think you guys have to, y'all ain't got to worry about that, but it is a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ever get, one of those days, just know like, okay, I got to go to work tomorrow. I don't want this coming out. You might want to drink something clear. You know what I'm saying? But it's real. I just thought I'd throw it out there. It's a real thing. And some barbers, people just don't, not just barbers, but people in general, they don't know that. And then it's like, oh man, yeah, you took a shower, you dressed, and you not even have your smell goods on, but bro, man, you smell like the bar.
I was gonna say,
you know what I'm saying?
Along with the body language, though, instead of like, I put this like, if you have a girl problem, whatever, like you keep all that to yourself because people come to the bar because they want to talk too.
Yeah.
So you have to be like an active listener.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not. You want to give them the opportunity to talk more than you. You know what I'm saying?
Listening is like, like so what I heard you don't have to say it like verbatim, but you have to like repeat back what they said.
Absolutely.
So that way they know that you're paying attention to what they're saying. Because part of barbering, like you said, is not really, you can do the best haircut in the world, but if you don't have that personality, you're not getting that client.
Yeah, or you're not keeping them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's something that, and we talk about that a little later too. That they don't come there to listen to your problems. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now it's okay to share things, but our goal is to get them to talk. You know what I'm saying? Like asking open-ended questions so they can, elaborate. You know what I'm saying? And then speak about what's going on with them or what they like or what they don't like or, you know what I'm saying? What they're interested in or not so interested in. Whatever the topic might be, setting it up to where they are the talker. And all you do is just add on to that. You know what I'm saying? To keep them talking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey, and that's excellent. You know what I'm saying? But you want to be a prompter. Very much like you guys introducing or are familiar with ChatGPT, and some of you guys are getting introduced to it. The better you are at asking questions and prompting it to, right? The more it's going to give you. Same thing with a client. You know what I'm saying? The better you are with prompting the conversation, they go talk, and that gives you it seemed like it's a whole conversation going on. But really, you just, oh man, you know what? That's so cool, man. Tell me more. You know what I'm saying? I've never been there, man. So what's it like? You know what I'm saying? Like getting them to get into the conversation more, and yeah, and you cutting that because that's what you want to be focusing on is cutting, not talking. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to be like you said, you want to be an active listener, so it's not like they're talking and all you hearing is bar 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 bar, you know. and then they say, "How about you? How you feel?" You don't even know what they're talking about. You ain't heard nothing. And that's the one, and I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I've been there, and I had to learn that part. You know, sometimes where yes, I'm prompting all this, but if I'm not paying attention, and they ask me something back, and I ain't really even heard what they were talking about, that's kind of an embarrassing, situation. You got, man, say it again. What's the last part? So you can get caught back up. But you have something you about to say?
I was just gonna wonder, is that something like you're gonna test us
On whether or not you're listening?
Yeah, like check us, see if we're able to cut and.
Oh yeah, that time comes for sure. Yeah, that comes for sure. And I often tell barbers, students, you already know how to talk, but you don't know how to cut. So focus on cutting, not talking, right? Because there's a lot of, sometimes you get out there on the floor and, you get to talking. Be happy to be out there cutting, you get somebody in the chair. Remember, cut more, talk less. You'll get to that point where you can talk and cut at the same time. Yeah. Like, bro, you too new in this to be talking more than you cutting, right? You already know how to talk, so, but I will, for sure. That time will come. All right. Good topic, man. And again, you'll figure out what your, professional swag is like as a professional barber. You may have already got it figured out, based on things you've already done. As a barber, you can create who is this, Laz, the professional barber. You know what I mean? Who is he? And what does he look like? What does he like to talk about? How does he like to dress? You know what I mean? What clientele is he looking to attract? That's your decision to make and create persona to create.
How do you feel about headwear?
We used to be a no hat school at all. I kind of relaxed on it a little bit. I personally probably wear a hat once every couple months or so or something, but I don't really wear hats. I think it's good to not wear them as much. For somebody like you, it don't really matter because you ain't got no hair. But if you got hair, it's like show off your cut, show off your style. You know what I mean? Because that people can, kind of. I want mine like yours, or not so long as yours. But you know what I mean? Yeah, and so that goes a long way. There was a school, or they're not a school anymore. They're like more of a community center, but they once were an academy. They're called SEI, Self Enhancement Inc., and they're right over on Kirby and what Beach, between Beach and Phelan. No, between Phelan and the heck street is that? Anyway, let's say Kirby and Phelan, right? Not too far from here. Inner North Portland. And so I remember they didn't allow hats in the building, and I used to trip off of that at first, like, because I used to wear hats a lot. I'm like, man, because you can get away maybe with not having a haircut. You know what I'm saying? When you got your hat on, but you take the hat off, everything is exposed, right? And it's like, but there was a level of, they had my oldest daughter and my son actually went to the academy when they had the academy over there. And I got a chance to kind of see just that was just one thing, but they had other things, in place as well, like for the staff and stuff and how they presented themselves. And it set the tone for the whole community that, took part in different services and stuff like they had. And that was just one thing, the no hats. But I was like, you know what, I kind of like that, you know, and I see why they doing it. It's a respect thing also, right? And the kids too. Like it's like if I wear them, then they gonna think they can wear them, and then it's good. And so yeah, I just thought that was. I said, well, I'm gonna take part in that, but also for show off your cut. That's the business we in, is, you know, hairstyle. So yeah, that's my thought on that. If you guys, I might as well talk about it just a tad. Now I think they just celebrated like 40 years, 45 years, something like that, of being in existence, and it's just a testament to like how a small vision of idea can spawn into something, you know, so much bigger, and for decades and decades, and you know, generations of impacted people. So that organization began as a basketball camp, a summer basketball camp. And turned into so much more, man. Yeah, started as a basketball camp, and Tony Hobson Sr. Was the founder of it. Yeah, they just celebrated 45 years, or this is 45 years. And man, they had it in one school, and then it went into another school, and this is summer camp, basketball camp. And then it just spawned into providing more services for the youth, then from the youth to the families, and just kept growing. And they ended up opening up. They built a whole building right in one of the most notorious parks in northeast Portland, which is Unthank Park. Unthank Park, and it's named after Dr. Unthank, and he was like the first black doctor in Oregon, I think, if I recall correctly. But it was the hood. That was the hood of Portland, one of the most, you know, known hoods in Portland. My grandparents' house is on Kirby in Fremont, so you got Fremont Beach, Phelan, and the park is right there. But anyway, he turned that whole area into something to be proud of. Him and, you know, his team, and it just grew to be something huge. And like I said, my oldest daughter and my son had the opportunity to be a part of the academy, and that's where my daughter got her scholarship through, that I showed you guys. So they they have a partnership with Jordan Brand. What was dude's name? He had something to do with the Blazers for a minute. He came in probably like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so, but he was with us for like, what was his name? Larry something. Anyway, he was a big part of making that connection with Jordan Brand. But yeah, man, super dope organization. And again, they send a bunch of kids to college. They send a bunch of kids to all different types of stuff. They out the country, do all types of stuff, man. Yeah, so just thought I'd throw that out there. Huge, man. How you can go from basketball to whatever your mind can see. You know what I'm saying? And like when it's positive, there's not much that can stop you. You know what I'm saying? From turning something small into something great. So just an example, little current history. 45 years, though. I didn't know it's been no 45 years. Man. Let's see if they got Mr. Hobson on here. So that's Mr. Hobson there. And this is his, so he's retired now. He's no longer the CEO of the company, but of course he's still he's the founder, so he's still around. But he handed the reins on to Trent here. I don't know who that guy is, but Trent is now like the CEO and lead of SEI. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Enough history lesson there. All right, let's move on, man. I'm Pause this.